Welcome to the Sprint lecture. Upon completion, you will understand how the Sprint enables the Scrum framework, and you will know how the Sprint focuses the team, and when to cancel the Sprint. So let's get started. Sprints are the heartbeats of the Scrum, where ideas get turned into value. They are fixed-length events of 1 month or less designed to create consistent delivery and feedback cadence for the team. The shorter the sprint length, the faster the feedback loop is. All the work and events necessary to achieve the sprint goal, including the sprint planning, daily scrum, sprint review, and sprint retrospective, happen within the sprint. Each new sprint starts immediately after the conclusion of the previous one, and this is one of the Scrum certification questions. And they typically begins with the sprint planning and ends with sprint review and sprint retrospective. During each day of the sprint, there is a short event called daily scrum, which serves to keep the team aligned and to uncover impediments the team encounters related to making the progress on the sprint backlog. The regular sprint cycle serves to focus delivery on the sprint goal. Each sprint, the team should develop a potentially shippable increment of the software, a usable iteration of hardware product, or ultimately distinct customer value. Give the team regular, high-quality customer feedback on value delivered, so the team can then inspect and adapt both their process and their product based on real and actionable customer input. Measure team output over consistent and recurring period. This measurement of output is called the team's velocity. The team can use velocity to forecast their ability to deliver work over time and create realistic sprint plans based on historical data with the help of empiricism. So sprint enable predictability by ensuring inspection and adaptation of progress toward the sprint goal at least every calendar month. Shorter sprints can generate more learning cycle and limit the risk of cost and effort to a smaller time frame. So when the sprint horizon is too long, the sprint goal may become invalid, complexity may rise, and risk may increase. So each sprint may be considered a short project and can be cancelled if the sprint goal becomes obsolete. Only the product owner has the authority to cancel the sprint. Now let's talk when to cancel the sprint. So abnormal termination is essentially blowing up the sprint and starting a new sprint instead. Abnormal termination is most frequently the result of dramatic shift in the business priorities. For example, something previously considered important is no longer important, or something even more important is discovered, or the team is away off the track in the product development. I recently had the opportunity to take a new formed team throughout the cancel or replan on their way first sprint, and the results showed why having the option to cancel the sprint can be a very powerful and effective tool to get a team back on track. And this team completed all stories they committed in their replanned sprint, turning what could have been a catastrophe into a success. But the question is, when is the right to cancel a sprint? And there are many factors to consider, but I think one of the most important is the maturity of the team. Mature teams should fully embrace the second Agile principle. Welcome change requirements even late in the development. The Agile process harnesses change for the customer's competitive advantage. Now, when we compare mature teams with newly formed teams, mature teams fully versed in inspect and adapt principles are more fluid in how they adapt to the change of adding, removing, or changing stories mid-sprint. They likely go through the steps of cancel and replan with such grace that to untrained observer it looks like they're just casually changing their plan. Newly formed teams don't have the discipline to change priorities quickly and must be stepped through the process of mature teams' finesse. Now let's see essential facts about the sprint. So no changes are made that would endanger the sprint goal. quality do not decrease, and scope may be clarified and renegotiated between the product owner and developers as the team learns more on the specific topic.